Alright, so here we are. We're gonna do another video. And hopefully it doesn't mess up this time. So, these are all my spirit tombs. And we'll kind of just look at some of the names. Bowie Host is kind of a fun. Seaman Tomb. Cynthia 108, because the Pokedex entry says that 108 souls are basically captured within Spiritomb or kept in there. This is a Spiritomb from Alpha Sapphire, that's why it's named Spiritomb Alpha. Penetrator, because it has its hidden ability, Infiltrator. Sintomb. So we'll move on here. Here's the Justice Pokemon. Really not much to say. These are the Therian forms. I talked about those before. We got these guys organized better. So now here's all the Landorus, Thundurus, and Tornadus. I found another of my Kyurems, so now I have 5 of them. All of the lake Pokemon. Have more of my Genesects now. And I found another Xerneas, so I have 4 of each of them right now. Of each of the legendaries from X and Y. Just shiny Giratinas, shiny Palkias, and shiny Dialgas from the mystery gift in Black 1 and 2 on the fan-made servers that I've been talking about. I found yet another Raikou, so I literally have 5 of them. Or 6, I can't count. So yeah, this is all really well organized now. Alright, Pokemon to train. Gigantes, which is the Greek word for giant. Again, you could only get this in Generation 4. I'm talking Platinum version. I'm not sure of the other ones. But, you have to meet pretty stringent conditions in order to be able to get it. And, he's probably at the top of my list for what I'm really excited to, make the best I can and train in a game. Haven't really decided on ultimately what moveset I want for it yet. Let's see if there's anything else in here really worth commenting on. These Larvitars are from the mystery gifting as well. Shiny Larvitars level 5, and I felt that it would be really good to, raise a Larvitar. Because in Gen 2, you don't get them until really late in the game. Pokerus Ass, just has Pokerus, so that's kind of what he's there for. Again, this is the flying Alolan Raichu, and basically you get this flying Pikachu in the mystery gifting from Black 1 and 2 on the fan-made servers. And then I had to bring it into Gen 7 and meet the conditions for it to become an Alolan Raichu. So then that's how you get an Alolan Raichu with Fly. And so I would like to make just a normal Raichu that has Fly. Is what one of these would be for. Just some of the starters. This is also Black Tower from Black 1. Was dungeon crawl up a tower that was really challenging and fun, and it was my first time doing that in Black version. Black 2 version. Wow, I can't talk anyway. But, you know, as long as you got through it all, this, you know, you would get this shiny Gibble. This is... Yeah, so this was back when I played Gen 4 for the first time. And you have to honey the trees, and there's only 2 specific trees related to your trainer code in the game where you can get Munchlax, and there's only a 1% chance. And so I literally did finally get one. It took me half a year to get a Munchlax in Gen 4, and this is one of the baby eggs I made of it. And it's named Heracross because, you know, so often it would be a Heracross in the tree. You know, Meaty Horgy, which is punning off of meteorologist, would be useful for my weather Pokemon team. Because it can do Rain Dance, it can do Sunny Day, it can do Hail. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it, but yeah, I was raising it up in one of the games I was playing for that purpose. So we have a level 1 Grimer from Pokemon Go. Mizuchi, I talked about in the last video. Again, he would be good for the weather team. So that's kind of why he's there. I thought it was cool that I had a level 1 Snorlax. Would be fun to train in a game. So here's more Pokemon to train. You know, these are just kind of a lot of fodder, honestly. So I don't know if I have anything more to comment on with these. We'll keep looking. You know, this is really cool. It's a fossil Pokemon named Lileep, if I'm remembering right. Yep, and it's level 1. And it's a really good fossil Pokemon. You know, a Pineco level 1. I thought that'd be fun to level up. Level 1 Dino. You know, this is from the Mew glitch, a Golem that I caught. That I was thinking of leveling up. I leveled it up a few levels. And let's see here. Level 1 Spinda would be fun. And again, this is in Black 2, I think it is, at the end of the game. If you go to Steven's house, he'll give you a Beldum. So that's that Beldum. Nostalgic Pokemon are Pokemon that I had as a team, mainly. Some of them might just be nostalgic for other reasons, but principally I had them in different teams that I used in the games I played. I've talked about some of them. We'll kind of go through it all again because I wasn't able to really have a complete video. So Glisco, the Gliscor, named after the shortening, you know, that you would maybe use when you're cooking. Ground and flying and really good stats. I've talked about it before, so I made it as best as I could in Gen 4. Really proud of this one. Nayla, named after a dog that I had. Fly the Flygon from Gen 5 in my Black 2 game. Really enjoyed using it. Very nostalgic. Flydig, I thought was really cool. Beldicio, again, Steven's Pokemon I showed you before. This is one of those, and I leveled it up to the highest level and made it the best I could. So I've talked about it before. Wailord. You know, you had to have in Gen 3 Remake a Wailord in order to be able to, you know, get the Regis. You needed Wailord. So that's why we have this guy. So that's why it's kind of nostalgic for me. Casey Penny, also used in my Alpha Sapphire game. Starmori, I've talked about Kingsguard a lot. I love Fur Coat as an ability. Will take normal damage from super effective moves, coupled with Charm to lower attack, Sand Attack to lower accuracy, Thunder Wave to limit their ability to even attack or go first. Also no Surf. Very memorable in my estimation. Boat Sinker, named after the Pokedex entry. Not really much to say. I mean, Sharpedo's a pretty solid Pokemon, and, you know, Warp Speedo, again, this one's just for the name of it. Suminero, Literally got it with Gen 7. If you pre-ordered it, you would get a free Munchlax, much to my chagrin, you know, having spent half a year getting it in the Generation 4 Platinum version. And it's, it's interesting because it knows Happy Hour, and I don't even remember what it does. And Hold Back is, you know, it's interesting, these moves it has. This is just a newer one, and Sumonero and Oneirogen is something that enhances or causes dreams. A sumo wrestler is kind of what Snorlax looks like to me. It's sleeping all the time, so it's dreaming a lot, so hence Sumonero. Aguiana, we have a Kingdra, you know, which to me it's nostalgic in the sense that I remember in Pokemon Stadium 2, if you use Sleep Talk while you're resting, you can use Rest again, even though you're already asleep, and you'll recover your health. So it's a huge glitch, and Pokemon Stadium 2 is an extremely challenging game in the campaign, and, you know, Kingdra's a must. So that, to me, that's really the main reason I would say this is here, and why I wanted to level one up. Really solid stats on this guy. I mean, everything's 150 or higher, and it's not even level 100 yet. Swift Swim also would be useful if it's raining, so it would be useful as a weather Pokemon. And Dragon Dance, Dragon Pulse is useless with Dragon Dance because Pulse is special attack base, so I would definitely get rid of that. Smokescreen is annoying. Brine is pretty solid. So Tabuzz, just a Golbat that I leveled up. Looks like in Gen 5. I liked my Gen 4 Draculot, which is not in the box right now. It's in Sword more than this one, but I'm really fond of Crobat in general. So yeah, this was the Pokemon of this species that I leveled up, and it proved to me how good this Pokemon is when I used it in Gen 4. So level 51, I think everything would be over 150, and Suction Cups is a decent ability too. I can't remember off the top of my head. I really need to look at some of these abilities sometimes. Sam Tarley, the Staraptor, and it used to be a Starly, so that's, you know, the lower evolution aspect of this line, so that's where the name derives from. Really solid Pokemon Staraptor is. Pretty content with it. B. Capi, I've mentioned before, named after the vine they would use to make ayahuasca. I have native heritage. Was really disappointed with Superior. I really love the Snivy line. You know, I love how snippy and such an attitude Snivy has, but not really the best grass starter. Venusaur would be more battle capable any day, I feel like. Coil is some poison type move. That's interesting. I'm not sure what it does. Bweeze Louise, a pun off of G's Louise. The Buizel. I'm really fond of this nickname, and you know, the Unova region, so Gen 5. I think I used it in Black too, and I didn't really, I think it was Gen 4, if I'm remembering right, that the Pokemon's from, and my friend used it. We would battle each other when we played the game, you know, and he would be able to devastate me with this Pokemon. So I underestimated the Pokemon at the time. It's actually really good. It also has Swift Swim, so once again could be useful in the weather team. Lizard King I used when I played through Omega Ruby in 2019. I played most of the way through the game. I played Alpha Sapphire 2024 this year. So definitely one of my favorite grass starters, I would say. It's a really good line. It's a really solid Pokemon. The defense is kind of abysmal. But the speed on this one is remarkable, and, you know, it'd be able to go first. Dual chop is interesting to have for dragon type coverage. It hits twice and is obviously dragon type. Fury Cutter, Leaf Blade increase every time you keep using them, and then Mega Drain I would turn to Giga Drain if I were to improve it, so that it can just, you know, keep going in the fight. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Kamer, the Kamerupt. Yawn and Curse is pretty annoying, and then the takedown is gonna, you know, hit pretty hard, and Rock Slide is physical based too, so. Did not level it up with Pokerus. I mean, I don't think I really took it seriously, but just, it's, you know, I remember using it in my team. Todd Pearson, named after my friend, used it in Omega Ruby, and one of my favorite Pokemon. You know, Truant means that it will have to skip a turn after it does execute a turn, but its stats are through the roof. Accordingly, as a consequence. And so Yawn is really annoying because, you know, yeah, I'm going to have to skip a turn because of Truant, but you're going to go to sleep, and I don't care if I'm skipping a turn as much. Gurthang, which is a really important dagger in the Silmarillion by Tolkien. Obviously, you could see why I would call it that. I mean, it looks like an axe, Haxorus, so... did not make it the best I could, per se. Bravari, wanted to see how good this Pokemon was. Pretty good Pokemon. You know, I'd say everything's going to be over 150, which I'm pretty happy with, generally, if it's level 100. Guts is a really good ability to have. So, Trans, which I look at as short for Transform. And again, it has Imposter, which is the hidden ability. It means it will instantly transform without having to use the move. So turn 1, you can use the moves of the Pokemon you have copied and transformed into. And, you know, I literally got it in, I think, blue version. Glitchisect was a Mew Glitch Parasect that I got in blue version. I did a Mew Glitch run. Again, it was around Thanksgiving last year. My friend and I began about a 5-month purview foray into playing as much of the 3DS Pokemon games as we could because of beginning to limit the capability of Bank and being able to access and utilize this as a preservation of your Pokemon. So Glitchisect, level 50. I wanted to at least get some of these two. Spore, 100% probability to put you to sleep. Need I say more? Leech Life, really annoying with Spore. Giga Drain, really annoying. Slash, might crit, really annoying. Damp, decent enough ability for hidden ability, I guess. So, Glitchinine, the Arcanine. You know, again, they would roar when you would do the Mew Glitch with the appropriate trainer that would give you this with the glitch, and so they were pretty annoying to catch. So again, I'm really proud of it. Adamant Nature is really good, and Justified as the ability means if it's hit by a fighting type attack, its attack will rise. So that's pretty nice. The Justice Pokemon have the same ability. Extreme Speed is pretty nice if you want to go first. You know, it could be a better moveset and stuff like that, but attack, speed, HP, all really good. Defense, kind of blah. But it'd be fun to see what it would be if I leveled it up more. And we have also a glitch from the Mew Glitch. Megmortar here. And it would factor into the weather team because it knows Sunny Day. It knows Solar Beam. For the uninitiated, Solar Beam usually takes 1 turn to charge, and then the next turn it would hit. But if it is sunny, such as Sunny Day would cause the weather effect to be, it would not have to wait a turn to use Solar Beam. So that would be why it would be really good on a weather team. Glitchaton, the Magneton. Obviously Mew Glitch. I named all of the Mew Glitch ones with Glitch in their name as much as I could. Can't remember again off the top of my head what analytic does. Hidden ability for that. Magnet Rise is kind of nice because then it's going to have coverage for ground type attacks. Won't affect it. Light Screen so that you can have some capability to bolster the team. Flash Cannon, low accuracy but will paralyze if it hits, and it will hit hard. Discharge would hit everyone. Could maybe be used on the a weather team. So we'll move on. N Toad. This is N's Polytoad. In Black 2 and White 2 at the end of the game. Post-game, if you meet certain conditions, you can face N. He'll have seasonal Pokemon based upon what season it is. This is for spring. Knows drizzle, so it will start raining when it comes out. And, you know, testing how the weather effect works, I can tell you that you can also say the weather effect is ending. I can switch to a different Pokemon and then switch back to N-Toad as example, and it would start to rain again for 3 more turns. So that's another really good technique, I think, as far as, you know, getting the weather going. Knows Hypnosis, which is really good. Focus Blast hits really hard. Hydro Pump gonna hit pretty hard. Psychic gonna hit pretty hard. So we have Lap Sex, which I did use in my blue version. I incorrectly stated in the last video that I used it in some other version. Got it with the Mew glitch. There's a Lapras you can get pretty early on from where you get Mew in the Mew glitch. And, you know, Sing has a pretty good probability to put them to sleep. Not as good as Spore, but Confuse Ray, Thunder, you know, because if it's raining, you know, that is going to hit with 100% accuracy. So then the ability is Hydration, which again is gonna, I think it benefits from the weather. Again, I'm gonna have to look some of these up. So we're at the beginning again, we can move on. So here we have Nostalgic Pokemon 2. We'll go over it again. So Doduo, a play off of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I had never really done a Dodrio in Gen 1. I had done the Spearow line, I had done the Pidgey line way too many times. I was so sick of Pidgey that I caught one, I think in Gen 2 when I played it in this 5-month period, and I named it Gen 1 Fuck. Because that's how much I was sick of seeing Gen 1 Pokemon in Gen 2 and how abysmal the roster of new Pokemon in Gen 2 is. So hence we have Doduo, the Dodrio. And, you know, it's a pretty solid Pokemon. We have Champster, which is the champion in Generation 5, Black 2 in particular. This is literally that Pokemon. Really good move coverage. You got Fighting, you have Dragon, you have Water, and you have Fire. So really good coverage of many move types, I think, is really what's so good about it, on top of the Levitate. Which means that it's, you know, not going to take damage from ground type attacks. Songnata, the Primarina, my favorite starter from Gen 7, a mermaid kind of Pokemon. I don't really have much to say. I don't know what Liquid Voice does. I'd be curious. Pretty cool Pokemon, pretty good Pokemon. Hugh Hefner, the Porygon. One of the nicknames of Porygon I came up with is Pornygon. And so that's why Velo, my friend, named it Hugh Hefner. And so I ended up using it in the game, you know, to make it as best as I could. It has Pokerus, so it's if I see Pokerus, it's a sure sign that I tried to make it a pretty good Pokemon. And yeah, I mean, it was fun to use. I think I used it in Alpha Sapphire, if I remember right. So this is Ash's on Pheasant, basically, and based off the show on some level. I believe, event Pokemon, if I'm remembering right. Super Luck ability, I think, is really good. Actually, a really good Pokemon. I think it's one of my least favorite bird Pidgey equivalents of any generation. I really just didn't care for it. And Generation 5 is where it's from. But it's actually a really solid battler. We have Delmise, the anchor Pokemon, the Dutchman, you know, from Generation 7. One of my favorite Pokemon from Gen 7. And it has Steelworker, which is going to boost the power of Steel-type attacks, and that's why I kept Anchor Shot, which is really interesting because, again, it's not Steel-type, but it has a boosted Steel-type advantage because of that ability. And, you know, Anchor Shot really gives Toxic more viability because I think it lowers their defense or something like that. I'd have to look it up again. So I would like to do another video where I'm more informed. But, you know, Toxic is going to badly poison them. They'll take more and more poison damage the more turns drag on. And Phantom Force is like Fly or Dig or Dive or something like that. They take a turn and they disappear and then they attack. And so because I'm taking that extra turn, you're not hitting me with whatever move you're using, and you're just taking more and more toxic damage. And on top of that, your defense is lowered from Anchor Shot, and Anchor Shot did more damage to you. And if you're, you know, Steel type is super effective to you, it's going to really hurt. And then Giga Drain is the way for Delmise to stay in the game, and it has stab damage with that being a grass type, and it has stab damage with Phantom Force being a ghost type. And so it's going to gain even more extra HP, and I would probably give it an item that makes it so that it will absorb even more health when it uses a drain move. And so again, I'm really fond of this one. It's similar to something like Draculot, which would utilize Fly as a Crobat while you are Toxic and while you are Confused Raid, and would utilize Roost in order to recover health, and would be as fast as possible. And certainly is at that. You know, I do have Draculot. So Draculot and Delmise in a team together. You see what I'm saying? I feel like they would be really good. We have Cleopatra from Velo, my friend. We played Gen 7 together. It was his first time, by the way, it was really special. Even though it's neither of ours favorite generation. So again, another really interesting ghost type from Generation 7, Palossand, Cleopatra, such as he is named. I don't know what's up with that, Velo. I guess Cleopatra had a sex change. I'm okay with it. So, you know, Shore Up is a really good move. Sandstorm is really nice because, again, it might be a weather Pokemon. Water Compaction, I can't remember. Giga Drain, again, I'm really fond of being able to stay in the game longer through a war of attrition where I'm able to gain HP back in some way. So again, another one for the weather Pokemon, also possibly. Lemon, the Camerupt. Now this one I made the best I could on some level because it has Pokerus. You know, not really much to say. Pretty typical for, I would say, for Camerupt. Amnesia, gonna boost the special defense so that it can keep doing Fissure, because I think Fissure I can't remember if it lowers defense. So I don't know. Don't quote me on some of this, but Earthquake is gonna be able to hit everyone. And, you know, a lot of these Pokemon have Levitate, as you may remember. So again, he'd be able, in a team setting, he'd be able to use Earthquake or Fissure, I guess. Does Fissure hit everyone? I'd have to look to remember. But yeah, you know, he would be able to not hurt them because they have Levitate. So Popped Farts, which I thought was a hilarious name. Velo named it. The Charge-a-Bug. You know, I need to evolve it. I still hadn't done that. But it's, you know, a pretty solid Pokemon. I wanted to, you know, experiment more with some of these Gen 7 Pokemon. So Cleaffable, the Clefable, is in Gen 5, Black 2. There are Game Freak people that you can fight at the end of the game. People like Morimoto, I'm sure Poke fans know. And so one of them has a Clefable that's like this. And so Cosmic Power is going to build up stats, and Stored Power is increased by those stats being boosted. So Cosmic Power boosts the power of Stored Power. It also has Metronome, just for a random happen chance element. It knows Sing, and then it has Cute Charm as an ability. So if the Charm didn't work, then the Sing probably will. And then you'll be able to sit there, build Cosmic Power, which is going to build up Stored Power, and then you're just going to be able to devastate them. And I made it the best I possibly could. Everything's going to be over 150. Defense and special defense are the best, and special attack is also the best. And speed I don't really care about as much, because maybe they're charmed. Maybe they don't even attack that turn. Maybe they go to sleep. So I think this is, you know, testing this one out, this is a really good one. This is really something to be something to contend with, you know. So we have 3 lit 3, or elite in elite speak, as it were, the Cofagrius, which is from Gen 5. It's a Pokemon that debuted in Gen 5, Black and White. Made it the best I could. This was the gym leader in Black 2. They had this Pokemon. And its attack is garbage and the speed is garbage. But look at that defense. And look at that special defense. And it's not even level 100 yet, by the way. And look at that HP and look at the special attack. We're not using any attack-based offensive moves, so we don't care about attack. It's a Pokemon that can take some hits, so we don't really care as much about speed. Energy Ball hits really hard. I think it's 90 attack or something like that, and you know, it has really good coverage. Once again, it's kind of similar to the Champster in that it has all this coverage of move types. So it is a really good Pokemon. We just have a Cynthia Spiritomb in here, just nostalgic. You know, Cynthia is one of the most memorable trainers that you've ever faced, in my estimation. King Louie, the Oranguru. You know, I wanted to make one of these the best that I could and see how well they did. So kind of similar to Cleaffable. Nasty Plot is gonna harshly raise the special attack, and Stored Power is going to be more powerful because of it. It's going to sit there and use Future Sight, which Future Sight will do more damage because of Nasty Plot, and it will only come later. And so I'll be doing more damage with Stored Power, and then he might be slapped with a Future Sight that does more damage too that same turn, which is just going to be devastating. Foul Play gives it Dark type coverage as a Psychic normal type, which is pretty cool. I forget what Telepathy does off the top of my head. Spitfire, the Incineroar. I am not a fan of Incineroar. It was the original starter I used the first time I played Gen 7 back in 2016, I think it was, and not really much to say. Don't really care for it. So Certinator, the Turtonator. Cert is a mythological entity of mythology, and it's a reference to Mega 10. It's actually a really good Pokemon because Iron Defense means I can build up my defense after I Shell Smash. So, you know, Shell Smash is going to harshly lower my defense, but it's going to harshly raise my attack, and then after that I'll just Iron Defense, and I'll raise my defense back up again. And so now I'll do way more damage within 2 turns, and I'm still just as protected. You know, maybe you're vulnerable for that turn. Shell Armor is the ability, which I think boosts defense in some kind of context. So it also really stacks upon everything else I'm already telling you about. Shell Trap is also unique, I think, to Turtonator, and is really cool. Okay, so I have 2 of these, but I mean, this one is, I think, a lot better. This one's 82, special defense 209. This one's 75, 206, special defense already. Yeah, so I think this is the one I remember more so being memorable. But overall, this is from the gym leader you face in Black 2. That's named Caitlin. That's why it's named Caitlin, by the way. I've talked about it before. It's a really dang good Pokemon. So I'll break it down for you. Yawn is going to put them to sleep after 1 turn. And Charge Beam sometimes will raise your special attack. Dream Eater will be boosted by Charge Beam. And Dream Eater will restore your health. So you'll gain more health because of Charge Beam. Reflect will give you more ability to stand in a war of attrition. And to be able to last and maybe get another Dream Eater again so that you're still alive. You know, so really nasty Pokemon. Really content with these Pokemon. So again, Iris is the name of the trainer I got this from. We already talked about it, so we'll move on. Scale Shine. I can't remember, was this the Totem version of Como-O that you can get in Gen 7? I can't remember or not for sure. But, you know, Bulletproof is good and really solid Pokemon. Mew Catcher, because it literally was the Abra originally that I caught. It's a Kadabra, obviously, that I used in order to initiate the Mew glitch. Up until the point I had a Pokemon that can fly, because as you may know, you can fly in order to initiate the glitch as well as teleport. So Mew Catcher, very nostalgic. Obviously don't care to use it in a combat situation, but maybe we'll evolve it at some point. I don't know. Magic Guard is really nice to have as an ability. Surf was just, I needed a Pokemon to surf, and so it's just kind of silly. PewDiePie, the Ribombee, really content with this Pokemon. Quiver Dance is going to raise your attack, your special attack, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, and then Draining Kiss will be able to drain more health, and you'll be able to recover health. Stun Spore will make it so you go first. We'll make sure, in some cases, that they are fully paralyzed that turn. Pollen Puff is a very viable special move for Ribombee. That is really good. I forget what Shield Dust does. Chester, named after the Linkin Park frontman, rest in peace Chester, was the chosen starter of my original playthrough of Gen 6 way back in 2015. So pretty memorable. Again, don't really care for Chestnut that much. You know, Venusaur is better. At the end of the day, I didn't think it was really that great of a Pokemon. A really good Tyranitar. I must have got it in a trade. A Wonder Trade or something. Just, I thought it was really solid. Look at those stats. You know, everything's over 150. Everything's over 170 in point of fact, other than speed. 153 speed. Pass Ass Imian, the Pissimian. I had never really had a Poemon before. I played Moon version originally, and I had no one else that I was playing it with, and I played Sun and Ultra Moon with my friend during this 5-month period. This is a really good Pokemon. I would definitely want to level it up to 100 at some point and see what we have there. Venusaur. The Venusaur is from, I think, was it blue version? It might be yellow version. I'm not sure, but it has its hidden ability, Chlorophyll. Pretty typical moveset. Cut needs to go, but not much to say. Venusaur is probably my favorite starter. We have Clit Pearl, or C exclamation point 1TP34RL, as it's actually correctly said, despite what everyone thinks. You know, a Gorbis, which again, Clam Pearl from Gen 3 could evolve into one of two Pokemon depending on what item it held when you traded it. And I wanted to level up one that was the Gorbis, and so that's what this is. It's only level 30, so we could do more with that. Glitchbok, the Arbok Mew Glitch variety. On Nerve means that the opponent cannot eat berries, which is kind of a garbage hidden ability, you know, since it's from the Game Boy. You see the Game Boy icon there. Since it's from blue version, you know, it has its hidden ability, but it's kind of garbage in my opinion. Stockpile, Swallow, Glare, and Mud Bomb. And it was pretty good. I mean, it's not the best Pokemon ever. You know, it's definitely not the best for battling, but it was decent enough. I'm pretty happy with it. And Tail, which I finally found. So this is the Ninetales that N has during the summer, if you battle him. I made it the absolute best I could. Ability Drought means that it's going to become sunny for 3 turns the moment it comes out. It knows Solar Beam, so the moment it comes out, it can use Solar Beam. Turn 1, it will hit you. You will take a lot of damage if you're weak to it. Confuse Ray means that, you know, with a speed of 260, I'm probably going first, and you're probably confused turn 1 if I want you to be. Foul Play hits pretty hard, gives you dark type coverage, and, you know, Fire Blast, because again, special attack 222, attack 190, so special attack is greater than attack, so therefore we are going to utilize special attack moves. I've considered maybe changing Fire Blast, but, you know, a really, really good Pokemon. Glitchabuzz, it was a Mew Glitch Electabuzz from Gen 1 blue version. Now an Electivire. Made it the best I could. Really content with Glitchabuzz. So this is the other aspect of the weather Pokemon I want to talk about, is that weather effects stack with terrain effects. So electric terrain is going to create an electric field on the battlefield for 3 turns, unless I have an item that will increase the amount of times, amount of turns that I can do that, which I would probably give to Electivire. So electric terrain will stack with rain if it's on the battlefield. So if I send out Entoad and it's drizzling right now, it's raining because of Drizzle, the special ability, I'm going to hit 100% with Thunder if I gave this Electivire Thunder, which I might do that. Plus, electric terrain is going to boost the power of Thunder being an electric type move. So that's essentially what these kind of teams would utilize. It would use the terrain effect as well as the weather effect to make something become greater than the sum of its parts. You know, it's bad enough that I'm going to hit you 100% accuracy with Thunder, and it's going to hit you with 110, I think, damage, power. But on top of that, now it's going to be even more powerful. because of electric terrain. So put these two together, they're more powerful than they are separately, in summation. So these are NPC, non-playable characters in the Pokemon games. Trade them to you. Or in some cases, you know, this is Ash's Greninja with Battle Bond as the special ability. And you could get it with the demo version of Sun and Moon by meeting certain conditions. And the ones just named Trainer as the person who traded it to me, these are all from Red or Yellow. They all have their hidden abilities. So Aftermath is really annoying. You know, if Electrode learned Explosion, not just Self-Destruct, which is basically a more powerful Self-Destruct, it's also going to hurt you with Aftermath, even though it's dead. Because basically whatever happens, Aftermath means it's going to do extra damage when it dies. So you can boost an Explosion basically with that ability. You know, some of the Pokemon that you got traded in Gen 1 were pretty stupid ones, I would say. There's really not much I could say. So again, I've talked about these before. It's in Omega Ruby Ultra Sapphire, I think. There's near the post game somewhere. There are a couple of, one of them is a female, one of them's a male, and they have kind of this sordid romance affair. And because they're from these different teams, you know, it puts them at odds even though they love each other on some level. And so that's why they're named Capulet, the Camerupt, and Montague, the Sharpedo. Because those are the names of the families, respectively, of Romeo and Juliet in the play. And so it's almost like, wherefore art thou a member of Team Magma? Because again, wherefore means why. So in Romeo and Juliet, when Juliet says, why, or blah, wow, wherefore art thou Romeo? She's saying, why are you a Capulet? Why am I a Montague? You know, why do we have to be these different families? And so that's what it makes me think of, is that quote from Juliet from Romeo and Juliet. So some more Pokemon to train. Let's see here. So this I found recently in Gen 5, if I'm remembering correctly. Or wow, my brain. In Crystal version. Hold on a moment here. In Gen 2 Crystal version, I was way off. You can get an extreme speed Dratini if you meet certain conditions. And, you know, obviously that's just what I did. So, you know, very unique, and want to train it and make it the best I could, and it to have, you know, extreme speed. These ones here at the bottom are all for a Triple Battles team my friend made. So I was leveling all of them up so that they're at least around level 50. Rain Song is not as much leveled up because, again, I have N Toad. And in my estimation, it's probably superior to Rain Song. But, you know, a lot of the idea with it is, again, the ability to levitate and moves that would hit everyone, like Earthquake, which are not going to do any damage to the Pokemon with Levitate. Or you have this Raichu that knows Lightning Rod. So any lightning type attack, it's going to boost the stats of Take Minakata. And Take Minakata is a creature that you can convince to join you in Megame Tensei. And it kind of looks like a Raichu on some level, which is why Velo named it that. Brawly refers to the Dragon Ball Z character Doombringer. I'm really fond of. Again, Water Spout is going to hit really hard. And the idea is protect. In the case of... let's see here. Trying to see what else we have here. You know, protect is for, you know, to protect from earthquake. Let's see here. I'm trying to find... Yeah, you know, protect from earthquake. Now I understand. Water absorb, you know, is going to absorb water type damage. So literally you're going to restore health to Doombringer if you're using something that's going to hit everyone, like Surf or something like that. So it's a really solid team. Discharge is going to hit everyone. You know, a lot of moves that hit everyone, but Dry Skin is going to recover health in Rain. I forget what Rain Dish does, but obviously has something to do with rain. You know, Drizzle is going to start the rain. So here we have Mew Glitch Pokemon. Tunfi. I thought it was a really funny name, honestly. Oh, yes, I did. Just to be like, oh, yes, I did do all these Pokemon. These are all Pokemon that I tediously went trainer by trainer and figured out what Pokemon they had when you would initiate the Mew Glitch with them. I didn't go all the way back to the beginning of the game and try to avoid all the trainers, but up until that point when you can start using the Mew Glitch, I went and did it every single time I possibly could. And doing it during the SS Ann event and stuff like that was a pain in the butt. Because you know you didn't have Fly yet, so you'd literally have to walk tediously back to the place, do the teleport, walk back to the ship, see what they have for you. So again, these were annoying because they had Roar, these Growliths here. So we have another Glitch Insect. We have a Glitch Mewtwo, or wow, my brain. Pikachu. My brain is apparently jumping ahead to other boxes here. It's pretty hot today, so bear with me. I thought it was cool that you could get an Ammonite with the Mew Glitch. You know, here's... And it's already got Pokerus. Here's a Gyarados, level 7, ready to go. And again, they all have their hidden ability. Moxie is so annoying on Gyarados. How annoying. Ice Body is really nice. Lightning Rod is really good. Regenerator is really good. Defiant on Primeape, that's awesome. Sandveil on Golem. You know, that would maybe go in the weather team. Levitate on Coughing is pretty obnoxious. These are all Game Freak Pokemon in Black 2. Or they are Gym Leader Pokemon. So these are Gym Leader Pokemon. Marshall is the name of the Gym Leader. Chantal, I think, is the name of this Gym Leader. And this is Morimoto. So again, the Game Freak personnel in Black 2. These are all Colress's Magneton. It had an Eviolite, which means it won't evolve, but that its moves get boosted. So that's kind of what he was doing with it, because look at the special attack on it. 230-ish for these level 71s. There's a Shadow Triad you can face post-game in Black 2. These are their Pokemon. Hence Shadow Triad. Already spoke about the Musharna and Clefable. These are the same ones. This is Solon's Maractus. Again, the champion Pokemon Iris. These are the N weather Pokemon. Each of their abilities start the weather. And so this is for the winter, this is for the spring, this is for the autumn, this is for the summer if you face him. And, you know, gonna start a sandstorm. Gonna cause it to be sunny when it comes out. Gonna cause it to rain. Gonna cause it to hail. And so there's really a lot that could be done with these. And we're kind of still figuring everything out. These are from the Shadow Triad. And I thought this was Gettits. Because Getsis is the name of the main villain, I would say, in Gen 5. So now we have every Eevee form organized in here. I thought it was funny because Velo named... So Larry, Curly, and Mo. You know, the Three Stooges. So those are all from Velo. I think I have more than just one of these, but I'm not sure where it is. But I believe that's one of each of the forms of Eevee. Keldeos. Here's some shinies. This was from Crystal version, Gen 2. I actually got a shiny Pokemon, and funnily enough, when I originally, you know, way back when I started Crystal version, I was still playing the same game this year and finishing it, but I had gotten in a fight with a shiny Sentret at the beginning of the game, but I did not yet have Pokeballs. So the game pretty much teased and taunted me in my estimation. I felt like the designers must have coded it like this. So to get a shiny, even if it's a shiny turd, a deli turd, a deli bird, that's all right. Wormtaria is, you know, from doing the worm hole runs in Ultra Moon. Shiny, so that's where these are from. Shiny Crustal. Pressing the wrong buttons here. Hold on a second. So, I really love this. Shiny Nuzleaf is really cool. Shiny Hippo. Shiny Swine. Shiny Grumpig. Mitchellif. I love green, so I decided to name it that. So yeah, these are all from Gen 7 Ultra Moon wormhole runs. That's how many shinies I got out of that. I mean, I did it so much of the wormhole runs, you can really tell. So that's the end of that. So yeah, our Ultra Beasts. I just want to point out some of these names. Xmas. Electricity, FF7 Zerk. I think that, you know, let's just look at it for a second. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it just feels like opposing Turk or something. Photon, that's a pretty cool. Xerxes, that's pretty funny. Work it G, the Xerkatry. Jerk it free, the Xerkatry. Jerk it P, the Xerkatry. Alright, so yeah, those are some of those nicknames for you. So yeah, this is representative of how many of these I think I actually have. I have all, I think this is all of them. So all of the totem Pokemon, 3 of each. Lulub hits is a certain word arranged in different order. The letters of that word are arranged in a different order. I'll leave it to you to figure it out. Gaia. Ulub, Upat, which is Tapu Bulu backwards. Ulub Upat. I thought it was pretty cool as a name. Maverick, Pika Odom, and Eclectric. Eclectric, a combination of eccentric and electric. I usually use it for Pikachu, and yellow version I named my Pikachu back in the day Eclectric. Tapu Bebe. Lumen scales, because it has luminescent scales. That was part of the Pokedex entry. Ultra Moon is where that one's from. We can just look closer if you want. Tapu Fini, Poseidon, Perkliga, Buzzledrone, Cosmic Kupo. I thought was pretty funny. Kupomos instead of Cosmos, Kupomos. Really cool name for Cosmog. There's my Lunalas, because I played Moon and Ultra Moon and Sun. So I have all these. Magirna the Magirna. You can only get it with the QR codes in Gen 7. And it's so the long story stupid aspect of my 3DS is that it will not work for the camera now, and will not work for the QR code scanning, so I can't get these anymore. So I'm glad I at least had, I think, one. Blah. So we have Hentai Cleaves, the Nihilego, or as it's properly pronounced, get it right, H3NT4 exclamation point C1E5. XT002, I think, was the special name for it when it was some hidden kind of project when they were discovering the Ultra Beast. Nihil Super Ego is a playoff of Nihilego. We're, bringing a little bit of Freudianism to it here. Think about it. Nihilid, I thought, was a really cool name. Nihilivo is pretty cool. Some pretty cool names for those ones. So now we made a box for mythicals. A Pokemon like Manaphy, you can breed it and make an egg. So I think that's really the main difference. And it's really confusing because I looked up Keldeo and it says something like, is a legendary Pokemon that is mythical. And I'm like, okay, so is it a legendary Pokemon and it's always mythical, or is it just mythical and some are legendaries at the same time? And it's really confusing, so I'm still not sure. Here's the Mewtwo I was talking about, because I'm talking so well in this weather. So almost an entire half a box of Mewtwo. These are event Pokemon you can get through mystery gifting in Black 2 or Black 1, for example. Here we have some more nostalgic Pokemon I've gotten together. This is a glitched Rhyhorn originally in Gen 1 that I made the best I could into a Rhyperior. Speed is absolute garbage, and so is special attack, but we don't really care. Defense is ridiculous. Special defense is kind of lacking. Has its hidden ability. This is a glitched out Gyarados that I made the best I could. Dragon Dance and Outrage is nasty, I will say. Ice Fang is interesting because it's going to do ice damage to a dragon type. And it is physical based as being a Fang attack, so Dragon Dance does boost it. And then Aqua Tail is physical attack based, so Dragon Dance does boost it. So every single move is boosted by Dragon Dance. Plus it knows Moxie, which means when it kills one of your Pokemon, it gets boosted attack. So Dragon Dance is probably going to mean you're going to die a lot, and then I'm just going to sit there boosting my attack with Moxie. This is a truly nasty Pokemon. You know, so we have Hero, named after the Gundam Wing character by Velo, and it has its hidden ability Defiant. And I wanted to make one of these the best I could. It's from Gen 5. You know, is where this Pokemon debuted, I believe. Or is it Gen 4? Whatever, we'll move on. Glitchgar, the Gengar. It's hard to keep everything straight, and I'm not a detailed person, so... But I know a lot about Pokemon regardless. So Glitchgar, really fond of. Made it the best I could. It was a Gengar I got through the Mew glitch, obviously. You know, Hypnosis, Confuse Ray, Nightmare, Dream Eater. And Nightmare is going to do damage every single turn when they're asleep, as just kind of a passive effect. On top of, you know, Dream Eater sucking their health away as well. Cursed Body as the ability, which is really nasty. Correctly pronounced, it's J exclamation point ZZYMUFF. And this is Wigglytuff. I wanted to make one the best I could, at least level 50. It was pretty decent. You know, I used it in Crystal version, I believe. So Disable was pretty good. A lot of the time Rest, because double Edge is going to do recoil damage. So then you'll be able to recover your health. Sing, because they can go to sleep for a while, and I'll be asleep for 2 turns. So we'll make sure you're asleep first, and then we'll just have nap time together. Frisk as the ability will let you know what item the opponent Pokemon has. Don't really care about it. So we're back at the beginning here. We got rares. So we're just getting together the more rares. So we have SNWH, parentheses to the left, parentheses to the right, RLAX, level 30. You know, Iron Buddha. So really not much to say here. We have, you can't really see them very well. These are all Pheromosas. So we have more Ultra Beasts, UBS 3, Ultra Beasts 3. So we're going to go through the names here. Steeler Fan, the Celesteela. Pretty just stupid, ridiculous name. Steelhead BJ. And then it wouldn't let me put the word, you can probably guess in here. So we have N4Z exclamation point EXTINCTR. And I might get demonetized for saying this, which is stupid, but you have to take everything with the full context here. Nazi Extinctor, the Celesteela, because, you know, the arms of Celesteela remind me of the Saturn rocket, and the Saturn rocket was invented by Nazi scum, to summarize. So the Saturn docket, as I named this one, the Celesteela. Again, a little humor about Paperclip if we can. Rocket, pretty cool band. Good name. Cell Astilla, as in sell a steal, like steal something. Celesteela, the Celesteela. Just playing with language. Hellphilla, the Celesteela. No Debus. Kurt Debus, you know, the military still gives out the Kurt Debus award. And Kurt Debus is Nazi scum, in summation. So, no Debus. Celeste, the Celesteela. Burn fiber 455. I think it had something to do with the Pokedex entry. So pseudo copple. So, for example, when worms procreate, sometimes they undertake an activity called pseudocopulation. And Pheromosa is a bug and fighting type. So hence the name pseudocopple. Fahiro. You know, pheromones. Pheromosa. That's the name of the Pokemon. So Fahiro. Hieromosa. The Pheromosa. Shareomosa. Because I know you can't see it very well, but look at, you know, the outline of this figure. It looks like Cher on some level to me. In some, it's like a bug version of Cher. You know, I would summarize. Pheromone. The Pheromosa. Need I say more? Oxytocin. 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 Oxytocin is the trust chemical. So it's playing off of that word. A pheromone. Penny stench. The Pheromosa. Feral. Feral with PH instead of an F. Fercy. Mercy with PH instead of, you know, M. Common. The Pheromosa, because it was so easy to get, you know, obviously you see how many of these fighting bugs I have here. Alright, so I think we're back at the beginning. Almost. Jeez, how many do we have here? So we have Pheromosa, which we already talked about. We have Hermonoso, or as it's pronounced correctly, Hermo4NSO. Please pronounce these correctly. I don't want to have the, you know, these Pokemon banned. They're meant to be pronounced like that. We have Faye, the Pheromosa. Again, just kind of a, you know, short little nickname. Fahiro. Pheromone. Bond Girl. Which Velo named this one. And so, you know, you look at the Pokemon again, and it does look like a bug version of a Bond Girl on some level, too. That seems to, like, share a lot, I guess I will add. So we have Flaboyzen, which is a portmanteau, a combination of two words, phlebotomy and poison. Flaboyzen. The Naganadel, which I couldn't even, if you asked me what was the name of this one, I couldn't, I've only seen this one a few times, really. And I'm really fond of it. Look at the art that this Pokemon is. Holy goodness. So, Beast Boost, and then we'll get into kind of the... I really think this would be one I would enjoy leveling up, because I do have its first form, and I could make it as good as I wanted to. So, Charm, gonna harshly lower the attack. Toxic, you know, gonna harshly poison you. Nasty Plot, gonna boost my special attack a lot. Air Cutter, you know, it could use a better moveset here. You know, Air Cutter doesn't have stab, same type attack bonus. It's poison and dragon type. So I would probably change to maybe Dragon Force or, you know, something like that as a move and get rid of Air Cutter. But Air Cutter is kind of interesting too, I guess. I think this is the only one of this I have. You know, thanks to Velo. Blacephalon. Clown Ball. I would like to level one up more at some point. I like the idea of fire and ghost type. It's pretty cool. So here we have a bunch of shinies. So I have those more organized. I guess this is not organized. Hold on. Some more event Pokemon from the mystery gift in black and black too. I don't have white. Velo did. More shinies. These are all shinies in here. Shiny loin. The purloin. Pergroin. The purloin. Purploin. The shiny purloin. Purloin. I can't do it. Purloin. You know. If I wasn't so exhausted from heat exposure, we would talk about it. So Barney. Shiny audio. Shiny dream. Shiny preem. Shadove. P-love. The Padove. Alright. And I think that's really about as far as I've organized everything. I'm finally done talking about everything. And, you know, this is all I still have to kind of look at to organize. You know, look at the forms of Oricolo. One of each, at least. From Gen 6, X and Y. So yeah, I just want to give you guys a quick idea of just how much I still have to look at. A lot of fodder there from helping him make that team I went over. Look at all the Caldeos. Here we have all the unknowns. So, I mean, I still have like 100 boxes or something to really look through. And I think that's really about it. But a lot of the most important Pokemon are all moved over now. So there you have it, my full commentary on everything, with some going over the nicknames too.